Ajay Dua, quickly a response from you. Do you think, in hindsight, the methodology that was employed by China to resist United States of America every step of the way, in wake of the tariffs and the counter-tariff war that played out between both countries, could have been well adopted by India for a better result?
Megha, thank you for having me belatedly in the show. I'd like to just point out two things. One, I think we batted it better than the Chinese did. Two things have happened specifically vis-a-vis us. One was a duty on aluminium and steel, which we have questioned in the WTO. And in the WTO, the American stand is not that India cannot question the reciprocal duties, or impose reciprocal duties, but saying WTO does not have jurisdiction when a matter has been done on grounds of security. Again, a very tenuous and I will say a specious argument, which has not yet been bought by the WTO itself. Second, what did we do when he imposed upon us the 26% duty? He did it, so he was circumspect. Other countries had higher duties than us. China, of course, very much higher, which went up to over 110%. But we did not question him. We let him go, whether the powers vest in him under the scheme of things or not, we did not question. But certainly it was being talked about, whispered, saying where are the powers being derived? Have just merely because you have a majority in the Congress, maybe not merely in the Senate, but also in the House of Representatives, he does have a kind of a thing. Will the legislature itself keep quiet? Because they could easily question it, saying, why are you exercising our powers only because he has a slender majority, he had got away. Fact remains that we concentrated on the BTA, saying let's proceed with the BTA, let's negotiate. That put the pressure upon him as far as India was concerned. With China, it was a clear case of you do this, I can impose a duty which is equally high. I can bring certain non-trade barriers, which he was also imposing. So rather than, we were not in that state of position as China is. I think the way we've gone about it, and the fact that President Trump has had to say that he's offered Pakistan and India market access, and that access to the US market is the one which got them to kind of bring the war to a halt, or the conflict to a halt. I don't think that's going to hold out. The argument has been made in the court already in New York. You know, what worries me is that after making this argument, and if the court decides to investigate and it turns out to be that the arguments are false, then there's a major problem, irrespective of whether the matter in the Court of Appeal stands or not, or goes to the Supreme Court. It will be a case of contempt of court by the US administration led by the president, saying when there was no such action at all.
But then how do you prove that this is contempt of court, that there is false information that is being fed by the US administration to the Manhattan court, as was quoted by
just a moment.
Commerce Secretary.
Making that point that rather than getting into the merits of the case, which the Court of Appeals, where he went within a few minutes, or his administration went within a few minutes of the decision yesterday, it will get questioned. Even if it goes adverse in the Court of Appeals, he's bound to go to the apex court there. The point is that the lower court itself can seek an investigation of whether that a truthful statement is being made by the United States or not, that they made that market access is which was offered to India and Pakistan is the one which made the war come to a halt. See, India, had they made that point, why has this market access issue, free market access, not coming out in the bilateral trade talks which have gone on since the 11th of May, beyond 11th of May, actually they've gathered momentum. One set of agreement is expected to take place before the 7th of or the 8th of July, when the deadline ends for the 3 months. So this is what bothers me, that they are getting into a bigger trap than they have envisaged. Vis-a-vis the legislature, they might be able to get away because of their majority.
Okay.
But
yeah.
not
So which
telling
is
the
which
truth.
is again concerning, and that's exactly what, Mithali. How do we